Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie Brady, a tax and accounting professional and also a business and marketing coach. I'm super excited to be here. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, to like the video, and also if you know anyone that would benefit from this information, make sure you share the video. All right, so let's get started. So today I'm going to be talking about starting a tax business. 5 simple steps to starting a tax business. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because I discovered that this is a very lucrative business. I discovered this when it was introduced to me around 4.5 years ago. Wow, time flies. And when it was introduced to me, I had no idea what having a tax business was like, what I was getting myself into. I had no idea the potential that this business had. When it was actually introduced to me, I was still working at my 9-to-5 job. I had a full-time job with the government as a social worker, and I was there for quite a while, for several years. But I knew deep down inside that I wasn't going to be there forever. You know, that gut feeling that you have sometimes? Yeah, I had that feeling that eventually I wanted to do something else, something that I was going to be more passionate about. So when it was introduced to me, it was like it was around the perfect time, actually. I did not quit my job. I stayed there while I was working towards my tax business. I actually started my tax business from my house, and I did it part-time, and it was great. It was really great. Once I realized that this was an area that I wanted to focus on, an industry, and that there was a lot of money to be made, then I made the decision to take the leap of faith. I do not recommend, everyone's journey is different. I do not recommend for you to just up and leave your job without having a backup plan or without making consistent income in your business first. So, long story short, I was introduced to the business. I started the business from home. I then was able to grow the business slowly. And I did not have all the strategies and all the answers at first, but now I'm here to let you guys know what you need in order to start the business. If this is something that might interest you, if you're maybe looking for extra income during tax season. For some people, they are already in the bookkeeping field, in the accounting field, and this would just be like an additional service that you would be adding to your business. It has great benefits, and if you're just looking for extra income, you can even do it as a side hustle. All right, so let's get started. So I was saying, I was introduced to the business. I started from home. I did not have all the answers. I was a brand new entrepreneur. So with this being said, I just want to let you guys know that any business that you start, you need to really have the steps that you're going to take in order to start the business and then get clients and then grow the business where you want it to be. In today's video, I'm just going to give you a few of the steps that you need to take in order to get started. So to start a tax business, all you really need is, 1, to know 100% that this is what you want to do. Do some research, speak to a few professionals that might be in the industry. Just get a feel for it, make sure that this is what you want to do. And then once you're 100% sure, all right, so here are the steps to starting a tax business. So the very first thing that you need is to register your business. So in order to register your business, you need to have your business name. And this is something that you should really think about. Give it some thought. You don't just want to choose any random name. You want to make sure that the name that you're choosing for your business, specifically if it's going to be a business around taxes or a business around accounting or bookkeeping, that the name is professional, because your name, your business name that you choose represents you and your business. So you definitely want to make sure that it's something professional, something that you like, and something that is not already out in the market, which is super important. You want to do some research and make sure that no one else has this name. So that's step number one. Choose your name. Step number two, once you have the name that you absolutely love, then you want to register your name with the IRS. You want to apply for an EIN number, Employer Identification Number. This number is assigned to your business by the IRS. And the next thing you want to do is make sure that you do your research and find out what is the best entity for your business. So that's step number three. So step number two is register your business with the IRS by applying for an EIN number. Step number three is decide which entity is going to be best for your business. And when I talk about entity, this is a video in itself because it's so much information. So I'm not going to explain all the different entities and go into all that, but you want to make sure that you choose the entity that is going to best benefit you and your business, which is sole proprietorship, LLC, if you're doing this business with a partner, if you want to do a corporation. So there's different entities to choose from, and depending on the entity that you choose, then the next step would be register your business within your state, secretary of the state, and you want to also apply for your business certificate at your local city hall. All right, so that would be step number three, choosing your entity. Step number four is you need to apply for a PTIN. So in order to be able to do taxes as a tax professional, you need to have an active PTIN every tax year. And the way that you apply for your PTIN is through the IRS website. And this PTIN is assigned to you as a tax professional, as a tax preparer. And you do have to renew this every year in order to be able to do taxes. What the PTIN allows you to do is prepare taxes. You can either work on your own, like in your own business, you do your tax returns for your clients, or this also allows you to work under somebody else. After you have your PTIN, what you need to do is apply for your ETIN. So your ETIN, you also apply through the IRS because they are the ones that are going to assign this number to you and give you authority for you to utilize this number. And what the ETIN allows you to do is transmit the taxes. So when you're a tax professional, you're preparing the actual tax return, right? But then after you prepare it, you have to transmit it to the IRS. So the PTIN allows you to prepare the tax return, and the ETIN allows you to transmit the tax return to the IRS by electronic filing the tax return. And to electronic file the tax return, you do have to have a software that you utilize in order to prepare the actual return and then to transmit it to the IRS. So how many steps? So we have choosing the business name, we have registering the business with the IRS, we have choosing the entity, we have applying for a PTIN, and we have applying for an ETIN. So the next step would be, which this should have been at the beginning, the next step would be to take a course. So in order for you to do taxes accurately, legally, correctly, professionally, you need to know what you're doing. Taxes is very vague. There's so many things that go into preparing a tax return. There's so much information. There's so many different situations that you will not, it's impossible to learn how to do taxes for every single situation in 1 year. Like being a tax professional is more of a career. It's something that you're constantly learning how to do learning how to be better, and learning different types of situation when it comes to taxes, laws, and your clients. So just a word of advice, if you think you're gonna know it all just by taking one course, that's wrong. Whoever told you that is lying to you. Being a tax professional and accountant, you're always learning. You always have to study. You always have to stay up to date with the latest rules, regulations from the IRS, the latest tax laws. So it's a career that is ongoing because you're always learning, always. So anyways, so you want to take an accredited course that is going to teach you about basic tax laws. Because when you first start as a tax professional, you are dealing with individual returns, which is 1040s, and you want to learn all of the basic tax laws, how to complete an accurate return, how to search the information when you need to search, how to use the tax software. All these things are essential when you first start out the business. So make sure that whatever course you are looking into, that you are going to receive your CE IRS education credits, that you are going to receive a certificate at the end, and that you're going to have support. Because let's be real, there's thousands and hundreds of courses out there on many different things, right? Anything that you want to do, even to become a chef. But when it comes to taxes, it's something that you will have questions when you start working with actual clients. You're going to have questions, and you want to make sure that you are part of a community, that you're receiving support, that if you have any questions that you can reach out to someone and that they will be able to help you with anything that you might need. So that is super important. So taking a course and getting the proper training would be the next step. And the last is just working, launching your business, getting clients, and putting everything that you learned into action. Not being afraid and just doing it. You're not going to be perfect. You're probably going to make some mistakes along the way, which is absolutely fine. I mean, we all learn by actually doing the work. We learn by putting what we have learned in a course or in a training into action. So don't be afraid. If you have imposter syndrome, lose that. If you think you're not going to get any clients, lose that negativity. You will get clients. There are thousands and hundreds of people that need to get their taxes filed during tax season. And even after tax season, there are always late filers that will need to get their taxes done. So you are going to have clients. Now, what you need is to market your business and put yourself out there. So there it is. There are all the steps that you need to take in order to start your tax business, which, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is a very lucrative tax business if you have all the correct steps to get started and if you have all the strategies. But I want to invite you to a free masterclass that goes into more detailed about what exactly you need and how to actually get those things and put them into action for you to get your business started. So if you're interested in getting your tax business started and you want more information on what exactly do you need and how to get there, I invite you to take our free masterclass where it's going to give you all the deets for free. Yes, this masterclass is absolutely free and you can grab your seat using the link below. Also, our Tax Academy, Tax Prep Academy is opening up its doors this fall where we have live coaching, live training and support during and off tax season. So if that's something that you're interested in, also check the link below. And if you have any questions in regards to how to get started or anything that I mentioned in this video, make sure that you leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so yet, make sure that you subscribe and like the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.